Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Revive. I'm Jake Martinez. I just wanted to say I appreciate everyone who watched my video yesterday. The YouTube channel's up in the works, you know, guys. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, but I'm pretty serious about it. After yesterday's video, though, I had a comment asking what's my take on the rookie class this year for all the NFL teams. Well, I have a list here, and I'm going to go down it. It's in alphabetical order, and first off, we're going to start off with the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Got rid of Rosen to bring in this guy. New offensive coordinator. The guy is a Heisman Trophy winner. And Kyler Murray, 4-time state champion at Allen High School in Texas. The guy knows what it takes to win, man. I'm sorry, I had to burp. But the guy knows what it takes to win. He's an athlete, and he's a freaking monster. Anyway, next up, Atlanta Falcons. They took two guys in the first round. Number one, taken at number 14th overall, Boston College offensive guard Chris Lindstrom, and offensive tackle at number 31, Caleb McGarry out of UW. Obviously, the Falcons are leaning more towards the offensive side of the ball this year. They want to take care of their veteran quarterback, Matt Ryan, and establish a run game. I think this is real good for them. So we'll see what potential they got coming up. The Baltimore Ravens are next. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, as we all call him. He was taken 25th out of Oklahoma University by the Baltimore Ravens. The guy's got speed. He's flashy. Fantasy owners, keep a lookout out for him. He's coming back off injury. They say that he's supposed to be the real deal, so you guys keep an eye out on that guy. Next up, we got Buffalo Bills. Ed Oliver out of Houston Cougars, taking at number 9. He's a defensive tackle. Big, I mean, not too big, but he's a real mean, vicious SOB. I could tell you that right now. Ed Oliver's going to get after that quarterback. He's going to stuff you in the run game and everything. He's going to do everything he can to replace Kyle Williams, longtime captain of that Buffalo Bills defense. Anyway, next up is Carolina Panthers. Brian Burns, didn't really do too much on him. He was taken 16th overall in the first round out of Florida State, outside linebacker. My best guess is that they're trying to find someone to replace Thomas Davis, so they feel like that guy is probably their next guy to do that. So we'll see how that pans out. Next up, the Chicago Bears. They didn't have a first round, second round, but they did have a third round pick. And with the third round pick in the 73rd overall, they went with David Montgomery. I know a lot of you guys are wondering who this guy is. He's from Iowa State. Good runner. He's a good physical back to make up for what they had lost in Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard didn't perform, and Tariq Cohen is still there, although Tariq Cohen is kind of small. He can't really carry the load like Montgomery, but they have high hopes on this guy. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals went ahead and took Jonah Williams with the 11th pick overall, offensive tackle out of Alabama. One thing that I love about the Alabama offensive line players is that Nick Saban knows how to pick them, man. That guy, he looks for that first off. I mean, athletes come and go, but, I mean, that offensive line, man, that's his #1 priority. And Jonah Williams is a good, excellent representation of that Alabama Crimson Tide offense. Cleveland Browns, they've been the story of the offseason, but they went ahead and picked in the second round. They took Greedy Williams out of LSU, cornerback, with the 46th pick overall. The guy can play. You know, he shows some signs of flashiness. You know, he's pretty good. He's not too bad. Not too bad on reading balls out of the quarterback's hands. Just trying to figure out where the ball's going to be. Cleveland's about looking up from this point on, you know, they're looking to have a good season. High expectations for those guys. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys, baby. Tristan Hill. They didn't have a first-round pick because they traded away they traded for Amari Cooper. So they gave away their first-round pick with the second-round pick. They selected Tristan Hill out of UCF with the 58th pick overall. Big physical guy, all I can say. I don't really know much about him. I haven't really looked at him. I just know that he wears the number 69. Wish it was 69, but anyway, no biggie. Number 10, Denver went with Noah Fant out of Iowa University. Tight end, they took him 20th overall. This guy, you know, Joe Flacco, they brought him in. They need guys to help complement after Emmanuel Sanders. They're not very big. They got second-year wideout Cortland Sutton looking to make a splash this year, but the Denver Broncos went ahead and went for a tight end spot. Kind of good guy, real good guy. Next up, we got another tight end from Iowa University, taken by the Detroit Lions at number 8 overall. T.J. Hawkinson. The guy's obviously kind of a little bit the same of Noah Fant, I think Hawkinson's a little bit more of a pass catcher. Fant's more of a run blocker. But I think it's a good pick, but I think Detroit's got some work to do. Next up, we got Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers went ahead and selected two guys, Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage Jr. Savage being a safety and Rashawn Gary being a defensive end out of Michigan University. The Packers had made a big splash in the offseason, signing a lot of guys. So these guys, we're going to see how they plan out. You know, maybe they'll fit right in with that system of veterans. So we'll see how it is. It's a winning culture there. The Houston Texans, biggest surprise of all. I think it was the worst pick that they took out of the whole draft by any team, actually. It was actually Titus Howard, Alabama State offensive tackle, taken 23rd overall. There were so many better offensive players in this draft that they probably could have went for. For example, Caleb McGarry, who was an offensive tackle. I think he's got a little bit higher profile playing at UW, playing a little bit more better competition. But I don't know. The Houston fans, good luck to you guys on that one. Indianapolis Colts, Rock Ya-Sin out of Temple University, cornerback, taken 34th overall. He'll rock your sin. I could just tell you that. Next up, number 15, Jacksonville Jaguars took Josh Allen in the first round, 7th pick overall out of Kentucky University. Let me tell you, that guy's big, physical, and he's a nasty SOB. He'll get after the quarterback real quick off the edge. He knows how to play the coverage good. He can run you down side to side. He's a good, what the linebackers in the NFL are representing nowadays. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. We're taking on McCole Hardman in the second round out of Georgia, 56 overall, wide receiver out of Georgia. The guy, you saw some flashes in the beginning. You saw some flashes in the beginning of the preseason. You know, he kind of reminds me of like little Tyreek Hill, a little bit bigger. Anyway, next up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. We got Jerry Tillery out of Notre Dame University, defensive tackle, taken at 28th overall. Don't really know much about the guy, but Notre Dame football players, you know, on the defensive side, you got Stephon Tuitt, who's in the league right now, good run stuffer. I could expect the same for Tillery. The LA Rams, Super Bowl runner-ups. That's all they are. The Cowboy beaters, Cowboy hopes, ruiners. Anyway, LA Rams went ahead and selected Taylor Rupp out of UW, safety, 61 overall. Come on, man. Hey, come on. This little girl's making a ruckus. Playing with my compass. Sorry. You want to play? Can't play with that later. Making a video. Oh, yeah, like I said, Taylor Rupp, UW, safety, taking 61 overall. Don't know much about the guy. He's just a second-round guy. Good luck to the Rams. Miami Dolphins, huge question marks there, taking Christian Wilkins, a Clemson defensive tackle. I know that guy is known for the splits, but two-time NCAA champion out of Clemson. You know, the guy, he's pretty good. He's going to bring some life to that Miami defense after losing Cameron Wake and Robert Quinn. So let's see how that shapes up. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking Garrett Bradbury out of NC State. He's a center. Most centers are smart. I was a center. I'm smart. Most centers are good-looking. I was good-looking. I picture this guy going at number 18 overall was a good fit for the Minnesota Vikings. Next up, we got the New England Patriots taking N'Keal Harry out of Arizona State University. Big target, taking number 32 overall. Big target for Mr. 12. Mr. 12 just about makes anyone look good. Even Josh Gordon puffing on that smoke. It's up to him, though. But N'Keal Harry, guys, he's coming off an injury early in the preseason, but he's looking to have a good year as opposed to fantasy predictions. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints. They went ahead and selected Eric McCoy out of A&M University, center, taken 48th overall. Didn't have a first-round pick, but they went with a center in the second round. Like I said, centers are usually pretty smart like me, good-looking like me, so I think that's a good pick for the New Orleans Saints. Next up, we got the Giants, the New York Giants. You know, they got Daniel Jones to try to replace Eli Manning. They took Daniel Jones out of Duke at number 6, and then they went ahead and got Dexter Lawrence, Clemson defensive tackle, taken at number 17th overall, and then they traded up to take DeAndre Baker out of Georgia, cornerback, number 30 overall by the New York Giants. You know, they got a lot of guys. They got Daniel Jones. They kind of looks like Eli Manning's youngest son. But we're going to see how he does. Next up on the other side of the Big Apple, we got the New York Jets, Quinnen Williams, big physical athlete out of Alabama, defensive tackle, taken at number 3 overall. He's going to come into a Jets defense that is just known for clobbering the offenses, man. They're going to get after them real quick there. Next up, we got the Oakland Raiders. They had made a splash this offseason. They went with Clelin Ferrell first round. They went with Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Abram. Ferrell out of Clemson, Josh Jacobs out of Alabama, Abram out of Mississippi State. All SEC type talent with an ACC champion along their belts. You know, got Josh Jacobs running as hard as a man possessed. So we're going to see how it looks in fantasy for him too. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Anyway, the Andre Dillard, I'll compliment that pick. I'll give him a B+. The guy's an athlete. He's long and lanky. He can play right or left, wherever you want him to go. He went 22nd overall, but I think that's going to be good for Carson Wentz since he's always hurt. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Devin Bush. This was probably my favorite pick of the whole draft, taken at number 10. I think it's a good fit for the Steelers. The guy knows defense. He's a hard-nosed linebacker. He could play the inside. He could play the outside, but they're mostly going to use him inside to make up for Ryan Shazier. I think that was a good pick by Pittsburgh. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers. We got Nick Bosa, another Bosa brother in the NFL, taken at number 2 out of Ohio State. The guy's going to join a heavy armed defensive unit in San Fran, and I can only see some havoc coming from that side of the bay. Anyway, the next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks who never know what to expect. Russell's the show, but they went ahead and selected L.J. Collier for the defensive side out of TCU. Defensive end, taken at number 29. Don't know much about the guy, but he's from Texas, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Devin White, taken at 5th overall, LSU linebacker. You know, the guy's fast, kind of reminds me of Deion Jones out of for the Atlanta Falcons. So good representation there, good way to make up for missing linebacker Quan Alexander. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans. Jeffrey Simons, don't know much about the guy, but he's a defensive tackle from the SEC, Mississippi State, taken at number 19. And last but not least, the Washington Redskins went ahead and took Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State University with the 15th pick overall. They feel like that's the solving of their problems, but I think that they're a long way away from that. I could tell you that right now. And they went ahead and got Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State University, defensive end, taken at 26. That's all I got for you guys right now, but this is going to be a hell of a season. It's winding down. It's coming down quickly. But like I said, if you guys like this video, I would like you guys to give it a thumbs up. Just click on the thumbs up down there at the bottom of the video page. And why don't you guys give me a subscribe? I really like that. You guys have a good rest of your night and enjoy the weekend. Thank you.